Picture this, you just got a raise. A real one, not a token cost of living bump. An actual meaningful increase. Maybe it's $500 more a month. Maybe it's $1,000. You worked hard for it. You negotiated, and now it's official. So you open your banking app a few months later, expecting to see some kind of progress. And the number staring back at you looks basically the same as before. The raise happened. The money came in. But somehow, it evaporated. And you start wondering, if a higher salary doesn't fix this, what actually does? Here's what most people don't realize. More income and more wealth are not the same thing. They feel like they should be, but they're not. And the gap between those two ideas is exactly where most people get stuck for their entire working lives. My name is Ted. If you're someone who earns a decent income but still feels like financial freedom is always just out of reach, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Let's get into it. Okay, first let's talk about why salary growth feels so powerful but often changes so little, because the trap isn't obvious. It doesn't announce itself. Here's the thing. When your income goes up, your lifestyle tends to follow it almost automatically. New apartment, better car, more eating out, nicer clothes. Individually, none of these feel irresponsible. You earned more, so you spend more. That feels logical, but here's what most people don't realize. Every time your lifestyle expands to match your income, you reset to zero. You earn more, you spend more. Your savings barely move. Economists call this hedonic adaptation. Your brain adjusts to every improvement incredibly fast. That apartment upgrade feels amazing for about 3 months. Then it becomes normal, and suddenly you need the next upgrade to feel that same sense of progress. The result? Most people find that no matter how many times their salary increases, they never actually feel wealthy. They feel slightly more comfortable maybe, but wealthy? No. Let's look at the math. Imagine someone earns $4,000 a month. Over 5 years, they receive 2 raises, and their income climbs to $6,000 a month. That's $2,000 more per month. Sounds like a major improvement. But if lifestyle inflation absorbs most of that increase, a bigger apartment, a car payment, more dining out, their actual savings rate stays flat. After 5 years of raises, they might have an extra $10,000 or $15,000 saved. That's not nothing. But it's not the financial transformation the income growth should have created. Now compare that to someone at the same starting income who keeps their lifestyle mostly flat during those same 5 years and directs the bulk of every raise into investing. They don't deprive themselves, they just resist the automatic upgrade. After 5 years of consistent investing at even a modest rate of return, they could have $80,000 to $100,000 working for them. Same income growth, completely different financial outcome. And this is where it gets really interesting. The difference between those two people isn't intelligence. It isn't luck. It isn't even discipline in the painful sense. It's one specific shift in thinking. They stopped treating their salary as the end goal and started treating it as raw material. Here's the insight most people miss. Your salary is not your wealth. Your salary is your wealth building tool. And like any tool, what matters isn't the size of it. What matters is how you use it. So if salary alone doesn't build wealth, what does? 3 things. And they all work together. The first is the savings rate, not the savings amount. Most people think in terms of how much they save, but wealthy people think in terms of what percentage they save. Here's why that matters. If you earn $3,000 a month and save $300, that's a 10% savings rate. If your income doubles to $6,000 and you still save $300, your savings rate just dropped to 5%. You saved the same dollars but fell further behind. The goal isn't to save a fixed number. It's to protect your savings rate as your income grows. Even locking in 20% consistently, regardless of what your income does, puts you in a completely different position over a decade. The second is putting saved money to work. Saving is protection. Investing is growth. These are different jobs. Let me give you a quick example. Saving $500 a month in a standard savings account Earning 1% interest for 20 years gives you roughly $132,000. Investing that same $500 a month at an average 8% annual return for 20 years gives you roughly $294,000. Same $500, same 20 years. But one of those numbers is more than double the other. That's not a trick. That's what happens when money compounds over time instead of sitting still. The third thing is the one most people overlook entirely. It's the gap between earning and spending. Not the income number, not the investment return, the gap. Think of it like this. Your salary is water coming into a bucket. Your lifestyle is a hole at the bottom. Most people spend their lives trying to pour water in faster without ever addressing the hole. But if you narrow the gap, even slightly, the bucket starts filling up. And once it fills up to a certain point, the money starts generating its own momentum. Let me give you a simple analogy. Imagine two people are both given a plot of land and a bag of seeds. The first person plants a few seeds every year, but every season they also digs up most of the soil to build a bigger garden shed. The second person plants consistently and leaves the soil alone. After 10 years, the first person has a very nice shed. The second person has a forest. Your salary is the seeds. Investing is planting. Lifestyle inflation is digging up the soil. Here's what it comes down to. Wealth isn't built by earning more. Wealth is built by consistently widening the gap between what you earn and what you spend, and then directing that gap into assets that grow over time. The salary is just the starting point. What you do with the difference is everything. So if you want your income to actually translate into wealth, here's the realistic approach. First, protect your savings rate every single time your income increases. Don't let lifestyle absorb the raise. Second, put your savings into investments, not just savings accounts. Let compounding do the work. Third, focus on the gap, because the gap is where wealth actually lives. Because here's the truth most people eventually figure out too late. You can spend an entire career earning good money and end up with very little to show for it. Or you can earn the same money, protect the gap, and build genuine financial freedom. The salary never changes the outcome. The habits do. If this video made you think about money a little differently, make sure to hit subscribe. And I'm curious about something. When you get a raise, what's the first thing you do with it? Let me know in the comments, because sometimes the answer to that one question explains everything about where your finances are headed. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.